The cameras flashed, the crowd froze, and just like that, Hollywood had a new obsession.
It really is the event everyone is talking about.
Welcome to StarScope Report. Join us as we uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and viral influencer scandals. From red carpet surprises to social media controversies, we dive deep into the stories behind the fame.
And we have a seriously fascinating deep dive for you today.
We absolutely do. I mean, picture the Algarve in Portugal. It is June 13th, 2026. A vintage white Mercedes convertible, slowly pulls up to this incredibly picturesque church, the Igreja Matriz de Astor.
Such a gorgeous location.
Right. But I want you to focus on what you don't see in this picture. You don't see a swarm of paparazzi flanking the street.
Nope, no.
You don't see a fleet of drones buzzing over the church spire. There are no live streams, no brand sponsorships, and there's certainly no red carpet.
Which, honestly, when you consider the sheer gravity of who is inside that car, it feels almost jarring.
It really does. Because stepping out of that car is a breathtaking bride in a custom, long-sleeved lace corset gown, carrying just a simple bouquet of white calla lilies.
And waiting inside in a classic black tuxedo is her groom.
Exactly. The only cameras flashing belong to aunts, uncles, and, close friends. And just like that, without a single press release, the entire playbook for the modern A-list celebrity wedding was rewritten.
Completely thrown out the window.
So our mission today is unpacking the recent, intensely guarded wedding of pop superstar Perrie and footballer Oxlade-Chamberlain.
It serves as a fascinating case study in modern fame. We are pulling from a really wide stack of sources today to piece this together.
Yeah, we've got a bit of everything.
Right, we have YouTube pop culture analyses, think pieces from outlets like Fashion Times, and sports reporting from Debo Cop.
Plus major entertainment portals, right, like Geo News and Zoom TV.
Exactly. And what becomes strikingly clear when you lay all this coverage out on a table is the stark contrast. You have their massive level of global visibility and then the execution of this specific event.
Because instead of monetizing their wedding, or turning it into a glossy magazine exclusive, or even just a networking event for music industry executives, Perrie and Alex essentially built an emotional VIP bunker.
An emotional VIP bunker. I like that.
Yeah, so we are going to explore how strictly orchestrating your private life, building those towering, impenetrable walls, might actually be the secret engine required to sustain towering public success.
And that's not even the wildest part. Later in this deep dive, we'll talk about the shocking twist nobody saw coming regarding their family life and the unimaginable tests they went through.
It is heavy stuff, but so important to the story. And hey, if you're loving these Hollywood twists and deep dives, make sure you're subscribed. We've got even crazier stories ahead.
You definitely don't want to miss what's coming. So to really grasp why this specific wedding is generating so much cultural friction right now, we need to look closely at the mechanics of the event itself.
Right, the quiet rebellion, as the Fashion Times labeled it.
Yes. It was a deliberate rejection of the modern attention economy. I mean, tabloids and social media algorithms, they run on access.
They demand a constant feed, yeah.
Exactly. They need behind-the-scenes content. By cutting off that supply line entirely, the couple created a massive disruption.
So set the scene for us a bit more in Portugal. What did this rebellion actually entail?
Well, the details that have surfaced paint a picture of severe exclusivity. The ceremony itself took place at that small Catholic church in Astor, Faro.
Which is beautiful, but very intimate. Super
intimate. Afterward, the reception moved nearby to the Perrie Natural Restaurant in Quinta do Lago, with guests staying at the luxurious Conrad Algarve. But the standout metric here is the guest list.
Oh, this blew my mind.
For a top-tier pop star and a championship-winning footballer, this was a micro-wedding. We are looking at roughly 70 guests.
70 people. I mean, for two individuals who have spent the last decade at the absolute epicenter of British tabloid culture.
It's crazy.
You probably have more people than that at just a standard hometown wedding.
It is remarkably small. Perrie was flanked by 6 bridesmaids, including her sister Caitlin.
Oh, that's sweet.
And a particularly touching detail that kind of trickled out was that their 4-year-old son, Axel, had a special role in the ceremony.
I love that. So the entire operation was just hyper-focused on their immediate verified circle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the paradox of creating that kind of intense exclusivity is that nature abhors a vacuum.
And the modern media ecosystem absolutely despises one.
Oh, they hate it. When you build a private vacuum like that, the media machine inevitably goes into overdrive trying to fill it.
That is the defining feature of the attention economy, right? When a high-profile couple refuses to supply the narrative with heavily curated official magazine spreads, the internet immediately pivots.
They pivot to analyzing the negative space. The story stops being about what happened, and it transforms into this, highly monetizable mystery about what didn't happen.
Especially hyperfixating on who wasn't in the room.
Exactly. And looking through our source stack, this is precisely where the reporting begins to fracture and conflict.
Because the guest list was logged down. So tabloids and pop culture commentators just went digging to figure out which of Perrie's former Little Mix bandmates actually made the cut for those 70 seats.
Right, and the conflicting reports we're seeing serve as a textbook example of this media vacuum effect. On one side of the spectrum, you have sports and tabloid outlets.
Like Davis OK and the Daily Mail, right?
Yeah, exactly. They explicitly reported that both Jade Thirlwall and Leanne Pinnock were in attendance, celebrating with the couple.
But then you flip over to the other side of our stack, sources like GeoNews, Zoom TV, and several prominent YouTube pop culture analysts, and they explicitly state the opposite.
Right, completely different story.
They report that while Leanne was there, Jade actually missed the event entirely due to a conflicting work commitment, specifically performing at the Primavera Sound Festival in Porto.
And, of course, across the board, every single source noted that the fourth original Little Mix member, Jessie Nelson, was absent.
Which aligns with her very public fallout with Perrie.
Yeah, that wasn't a surprise. But the disparity in the reporting about Jade is the direct result of operating without an official PR statement.
Without a verified guest list, the media simply guesses. And that guesswork generates endless cycles of clicks, speculation, and ad revenue.
It's all about the clicks.
Which honestly makes me question the strategy. I mean, by building such high walls, by keeping the guest list to just 70 people and flat out refusing to play the PR game, do celebrities inadvertently paint a target on their own backs?
That's a really valid question.
By trying to be intensely private, aren't they just handing the tabloids a magnifying glass and begging them to scrutinize who didn't make the cut?
So that is the core tension of celebrity privacy. In the short term, the boundary itself acts as a beacon.
Like a red flag to a bull.
Yeah. Human nature dictates that if you put up a wall, people will immediately try to peek over it. The paparazzi business model actually thrives on this kind of mystery.
Because an official photo is a one-day news cycle.
Exactly. But a rumored missing bridesmaid, that fuels a week of TikTok deep dives and speculative articles.
Wow, yeah, that makes total sense.
However, we have to look past the short-term media reaction and examine the intention behind the privacy. This was not a calculated PR stunt designed to manufacture intrigue.
You're saying the walls aren't there to manipulate the press, they're there to protect the inhabitants.
Precisely. It is about psychological safety. To understand why they felt the need to construct this emotional VIP bunker in the first place, we have to trace the 9-year journey that led them to that church.
Right, this was not a whirlwind Hollywood romance.
Not at all. It is nearly a decade of history.
And the origin story is remarkably grounded for two celebrities. They met back in 2016 on Raya, the exclusive dating app.
Which is pretty standard now,
But the fun detail here is that Perrie didn't even swipe for him herself. One of her friends saw Alex on the app, recognized him from a previous interview, and swiped on Perrie's behalf.
Which is so relatable. That eventually led to their first date at the Cirque nightclub in London.
And Perrie has since gone on the record describing that initial meeting as love at first sight when she saw him waiting for her.
But the longevity of their relationship wasn't built solely on immediate physical attraction. The foundation was deeply rooted in the concept of healing.
Which provides such an important contrast to the typical celebrity relationship rollout. Perrie has spoken very candidly most recently on the Great Company podcast about her romantic history.
Yeah, she was very open.
Before Alex, she navigated a highly publicized, intensely scrutinized relationship with Zayn Malik, which ended in 2015.
And she described that dynamic as toxic, right?
Yes. She talked about the active, conscious effort required to choose healthy love and break those damaging cycles.
She openly credited Alex's consistently calm demeanor with providing the environment she needed to heal from that past.
He offered a space where she could finally feel safe and content.
In psychological terms, they were establishing a baseline of emotional regulation. But maintaining that baseline has required them to weather an extraordinary amount of external and internal turbulence.
Let's lay out that timeline because it completely reframes how you view this private wedding. You realize the safety he provided was vital because their actual day-to-day reality during this period was anything but safe.
It was incredibly volatile.
First, they navigated grueling long-distance challenges while Alex was playing football in Turkey for Besiktas.
Right, and Perrie has detailed the logistical nightmare of juggling her own music career, raising a child, and flying back and forth to keep the family connected.
That alone is enough to strain any relationship. But then you layer on severe acute trauma.
This is where it gets really dark.
In September 2022, not long after they got engaged, they were the victims of a terrifying home burglary in the UK.
And the chilling reality of that event is that Perrie, Alex, and their young son, Axel, were physically inside the house when the intruders broke in.
Oh my gosh. Just pause and imagine putting yourself in that position. The one place that is supposed to be your sanctuary is violently compromised while your child is sleeping down the hall.
It's unthinkable.
That alone would make anyone want to disappear from the public eye. But the trauma they process behind closed doors goes even deeper.
It does.
Perrie recently revealed on the We Need to Talk podcast the profound family trials they endured before welcoming their daughter, Alanis Valentine, in January 2026. She shared that they suffered 2 miscarriages.
The context surrounding those losses makes their resilience even more remarkable.
It really does.
The first occurred prior to the birth of Axel in 2021. The second was an incredibly advanced pregnancy, a 24-week gestation loss.
Wait, 24 weeks?
Yeah, and that devastating event happened right in the middle of Little Mix's Camilletti tour in May 2022.
Think about the visceral reality of that. You are contractually obligated to perform high-energy pop routines in front of tens of thousands of screaming fans every single night.
While grieving a massive loss.
You are smiling for cameras, doing meet and greets, while privately navigating the severe physical and emotional trauma of a late-term pregnancy loss.
It's hard to even fathom.
Most of us take 3 days off work for a bad flu. The level of compartmentalization required to survive that, under the glare of the British tabloids, is staggering.
This brings us to a crucial concept in developmental psychology and attachment theory, the idea of the secure base.
Okay, unpack that for us.
So the theory dictates that individuals are far more willing to take risks, explore the world, and endure extreme external pressure if they know they have a reliable, unshakable base to return to.
A safe harbor, basically.
Exactly. When your external world is characterized by public heartbreak, a home invasion, and profound personal loss, your internal world, your home life, must become sacred.
So the private wedding wasn't about being aloof. It was about fortifying that secure base.
Bungo.
They deliberately walled off their most valuable asset, their family unit, so it simply cannot be touched, commodified, or critiqued by the public.
You don't monetize the thing that keeps you grounded. You don't invite the cameras in to consume it. You build a fortress around it.
Which explains so much about their current situation. Because when you look at the professional swings they are taking in 2026, outside those fortress walls, their lives are an absolute pressure cooker.
Oh, the chaos is real. But hey, we'll get into the absolute chaos of their professional lives right after this because the contrast is wild.
And stay tuned and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next, because the career pivots are massive.
There really are. The sheer scale of the professional risks they are navigating simultaneously right now is immense. Let's look at the career milestones happening alongside this wedding.
Okay, so Perrie is in the middle of a colossal solo launch. After a decade in one of the biggest girl groups in the world, she signed a major deal with Columbia Records.
Huge deal.
Her debut solo album, titled Perrie, dropped in late 2025 and smashed into the UK charts at number 3. The promotional engine required for that is just relentless.
We have seen a constant stream of releases. She debuted with hits like Forget About Us, which cracked the top 10.
Such a bop.
Right. That was followed by Tears, You Go Your Way, and If He Wanted to, He Would. And then mere weeks before walking down the aisle, she dropped her May 2026 single, Passenger Princess.
And while she's carrying the weight of a solo pop debut, Alex is having an incredibly volatile, high-stakes year in his own right.
Yeah, his sports career took a wild turn.
He leaves Besiktas in Turkey.
Yeah.
He comes back to the UK as a free agent, training with Arsenal just to maintain his fitness without a permanent club.
Which is stressful for any athlete.
Definitely. And then he signs a sudden, high-pressure 6-month contract with Celtic.
A move that ended up being a masterstroke for his career, honestly. He stepped into a highly competitive environment and helped Celtic claw back a significant deficit, ultimately winning the Scottish Premiership on the very last day of the season.
Wait, I'm looking at this timeline, and it is stressing me out just reading it aloud.
Done a lot.
Put the pieces together. They have a newborn baby girl, Alanis Valentine. They have a toddler, Axel. She is launching a solo album that requires constant media appearances and charting pressure.
Plus tour prep, probably.
Right. And he is navigating a sudden transfer to Glasgow, Scotland, and a down-to-the-wire championship race.
Yeah.
I don't buy that this Portuguese wedding is a peaceful escape. Logistically, this sounds like a complete nightmare.
Your skepticism is entirely justified. On a purely logistical level, planning an international destination wedding with an infant and a toddler while dropping a pop album and winning a football league is chaotic.
Highly chaotic.
But psychologically, those two realities, the private calm and the public chaos, are intrinsically linked. In fact, one requires the other.
How does that work? Because from the outside, it just looks like they are sprinting on a treadmill set to the highest speed.
This is where the mechanics of the secure base come back into play. Their private stability is the exact fuel source for their professional volatility.
Okay, I think I'm tracking.
Think about the emotional bandwidth required to take a massive career leap. If your home life is rocky, if your relationship is constantly being litigated in the press, or if you are leaking energy just trying to survive your day-to-day interactions, you cannot take high-altitude professional leaps.
You simply don't have the neurological resources for it.
Exactly.
It's like trying to jump off a diving board when the board itself is splintering. You can only execute those massive public leaps without a net, because you know the ground floor of your life is made of solid concrete.
Exactly the right metaphor. They are initiating a brand new chapter on virtually every front of their lives. A new baby, a new solo music career, a new football club, and a new marital status.
All at once.
All at once. They possess the capacity to execute those swings because the private foundation cultivated over 9 years is bulletproof. The drama, the stress, and the public commentary that stays entirely outside the walls of that Portuguese church.
That reframes the entire concept of celebrity privacy for me. It is not necessarily about hiding from the fans. It is about hoarding your own energy for the things that actually matter. It is a survival mechanism.
It really is. And it highlights a profound evolution in how public figures navigate their careers. Consider the era of pop stardom Perrie grew up in during the early 2010s.
Oh, the One Direction and Little Mix era.
Right. That era was defined by an expectation of total, unfiltered access. The industry standard was to tweet your every waking thought, vlog your tour bus experiences, and offer up your romantic relationships for public consumption.
That was just how you built a fan base.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So to mature out of that ecosystem and boldly declare, no, this part is just for me, represents a significant shift in boundaries.
Which brings us to the real takeaway for you listening right now. This is not just a tactical breakdown of how to plan a discreet wedding in the Algarve.
Though it is a good blueprint for that.
True. But it's really a realization about where true power lies in the modern world. Whether you are a global pop star, an elite athlete, or just someone trying to navigate the complexities of your own career and family life, true power comes from strictly controlling your own narrative.
You have to secure your foundation first. You protect your peace, you fiercely guard your family, and you dictate the terms of your own happiness.
Only once that secure baseline is established do you go out and take those massive professional swings.
It leaves you with a deeply provocative thought to chew on regarding our own habits.
Yeah, because we live in a cultural moment where everyday people feel this immense, invisible pressure to broadcast their lives.
We live stream our vacations, we post our relationship milestones.
We monetize our hobbies on social media. In an economy where attention is the default currency, has radical privacy become the ultimate luxury status symbol?
It is a striking societal shift. For a long time, visibility was the marker of success. Now, withholding that visibility, choosing not to engage with the algorithm, is becoming the ultimate flex of autonomy and power.
Think about your own life. Does keeping the most beautiful, sacred, and challenging parts of your existence entirely to yourself make them infinitely more valuable?
It's certainly something to ponder the next time you feel the reflexive urge to pull out your phone and document a major life moment.
Sometimes the most significant, transformative moments happen precisely because the cameras are turned off. Think back to that vintage white Mercedes pulling up to the church in Portugal. The doors close, the immediate family gathers, and the rest of the world is left outside, waiting.
For Perrie Edwards and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, that wasn't a missed PR opportunity. It was the ultimate victory.
You've been listening to StarScope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.